What is up, cucks and cuckettes? I know. It's been well over a year since my last upload, but I'm sure you will all forgive me since I was busy taking your mum out to dinner and giving her foot rubs after some wine and cheese. Anyways, welcome to Dead Island 2. I was critical of this game in an older video without ever playing it. Now, after having sunk around 20 hours or so into it, I can comfortably say that it's actually a lot of fun. I get the same feeling playing this game as I do having my first sip of beer on a Friday afternoon. Pure ecstasy. On the character selection screen, I decided to go with the obvious choice of Lil Pump. I mean, look at him. The game calls him Bruno, but that's fucking Lil Pump. So I'm going to be referring to him as such. The plane I'm in crashes, and I'm somehow still alive, pissing out blood after I pull a bit of metal out of my tummy. I find a med kit and just shoot myself directly in the stomach with a random syringe and put a band-aid on. If only it worked like that in real life, I reckon I could headbutt a chainsaw and not meet God. This door opens, and I check to see if this guy is alive. He isn't, but he left a mean stain on the toilet, and it really makes you wonder what he ate for lunch. This engine explodes, and I once again survive. This is a fine example of plot armour. I find some survivors, and one of them is a rich celebrity dumb cunt named Emma Jawn. She's arrogant and rude, and she throws her shoes on the ground like a toddler, and then immediately asks Michael, her flamboyant assistant, who would actually sleep with a woman if his master said so, to find her some new shoes. You absolute muck. I hope you step in a puddle and get your socks wet. We find this guy laying under some rubble, and he is somehow still alive, even with the landing gear trapping his whittle legs. If that was me, I'd just pick it up with one hand and toss it to the side like it was a pebble. Then I'd hop in my Lamborghini and fly away in it. They don't call me Colossal Cock Cobb for nothing. I find another survivor, but it's actually a zombie. Who would have guessed from the groaning and the fentanyl that he was pulling? Now they are all coming out of the woodwork. Unluckily for them, they are dealing with Lil Pump, an expert in doing shin-high kicks and ruining people's day. After clearing the dogs out, I go back to old mate trapped under the rubble, and he's absolutely tweaking. So I go to his missus to give her some water, and she gives me a little kiss on the arm. What a skank. Then she goes back to her man and gives him a kiss, and then she comes back for me again. This dude likes being cucked, but I'm not into it, so I stab her in the face with a shoe. Then I wake up in some dude's front yard, and like the little loot goblin I am, I immediately start stealing shit from his garage. I find a breaker and put it where it's meant to be, only to find some zombies on the other side of the fence. Now, I want to know how in the fuck the zombies have taken over. All I'm doing is span kicking them in the shin, and they don't stand a chance. Maybe it's because of my expert shin kicking skills, or maybe they're just so slow and dumb that a toddler with no fingers could take one on and come out victorious. I find the guy whose house it is, and he's gobbling down on me. So I take him out quickly and grab the security code. I run into his house and find a sword, which will be great for when I eventually want to throw myself face first onto it. As you can see, the sword is very effective. I find a head on the pool table and obviously try and sink the cunt right into the pocket, but my pool game needs some work and I accidentally fling it off the table. I need to find a code for the back gate, but end up playing Ring Around the Rosie with the zombie. She's kind of hot, and I know I can fix her, but she tries to nibble on my willy a bit too hard, so I cut her arm off in swift fashion. I make my way to Emma's house, and they see my bite and immediately pull a gun on me, but each of them are absolute useless cunts and don't end up shooting me, even though it's obvious I'm about to start giving them really aggressive hickeys. I wake up cuffed and stuffed on a treadmill when we find out that the house is surrounded. I watch this guy get eaten. Bozo, grow up. Then I watch another guy get eaten at the front door. Every character in this game has the survival skills of a rock and just gets eaten without even giving it a second thought. I take care of the zombies and make sure this guy has the most humiliating death ever, teabagging him before taking his head off like it's 1473 and watching as I falls right onto his Johnson. I grab the breaker to shut the gate and act as crowd control on the remaining zombies. We make it back to Emma's house and we meet my goat, the OG, my favourite rapper, Sam B. And he's pimpin', as always. He's got a gangster septum piercing and chains up the fucking wazoo. This is where we find out we're immune, which I think we would have figured out after, not fucking turning into a zombie. Lil Pump may have sang the red hot single Gucci Gang, but he couldn't muster up the answer to 6 + 3 if his life depended on it. We go upstairs to talk to Sam B, and he teaches us how to build a machete that fucking electrocutes zombies. I don't even know how you could figure something like this out, but I'm not going to ask questions. With that done, we head up to Emma's room and immediately start stealing shit from her closet. Thankfully, there was nothing too funky in there, and then we go and have a chat with her. She's about as helpful as a one-legged man in a shit-kicking contest, just crying and yapping about nothing. When we get outside, I try and let her know of my disdain for her by lobbing a plank of wood at her fucking forehead, but she doesn't seem to be bothered. It would be nice if she acknowledged that I'm more of a threat to her than the zombies are. The first chance I get, she's getting her cap peeled back, just for having a shit haircut and being a twat. Once we get outside, I see the zombie and get a quick sniff of those sweaty undead cheeks before sending her upper half across the stratosphere. I bait some zombies into some electricity, and that's about as creative as I'm going to get with killing zombies because my brain is the size of a fucking walnut. I find this old geezer's house and he wants me to come say g'day, but I find some zombies in his garage that I accidentally explode with a swift kick to a barrel. I find the old dude and his name's Curtis and he's an actor from back in the day, so you know that he gets hella pussy. He tells us about his electricity problem and I find the connection when this zombie fails to jump scare me. Absolutely pathetic, mate. Next time, make sure I'm in the door frame and then jump out, you stupid cunt. I pour some water onto the broken connection and I'm on my way inside. We have a quick chat while old mate hops on his stair chair and I make a mess in his living room. And that's when his nephew runs out and Curtis isn't happy about it. I take care of him quickly, but he still wants me to beat the shit out of him. I think he's gone a bit senile, but being the good little boy that I am, I give him a couple kicks and Curtis is pleased. I'm not sure why he was even worried about the zombies because the old fella is fucking immortal. I smack him around, but he doesn't even react once. I tell him to fuck off to Emma's place so that she can deal with his lack of bowel control, and I start rummaging through his house as if I was looking for your mum's sexy underwear. This zombie gives me an actual scare, and I let her know that she got me good by leaving absolutely nothing left of her dead corpse. After my rage succumbs to nothing, I head to the hype house. There's nothing but wankers in this joint. I try to go through the front door, but just ending up bonking a zombie on the head as it was locked. It serves her right. There's no place for breaking and entering in this community. I kill a fat dude by the pool and watch as he jiggles, and my tiny brain sat there giggling like a Virgin Discord mod seeing his first pair of hoo-ha's. I find this game room and get jealous, so I destroy it, because if I can't have it set up this nice, then no one can. Old mate, who owns it, must have seen me smacking his monitors and decided to attack me. Little does he know, I'm holding a giant club and smack him to death in his own room. Unlucky geezer. Next time, don't try and be the hero, and you won't end up with your jaw swinging like Tarzan. I kick this dude and watch as his chubby little knees give way and he backflips off the roof, smacking the pavement with more force than a tank. And this is when I finally decide that it's time to get to the Halperin Hotel for some help. I find a crater full of zombies, and my first instinct is to say, fuck that, and get as far away as possible, which I do successfully. And I also find one of the coolest weapons in the game, the Wolverine claws. Now you already know that my first reaction to these was, holy fuck, what the fuck, I'm literally Wolverine. Now with my claws, in the confidence of a lion, I throw my nutsack over my shoulder and demolish every single zombie in between me and the hotel. Nothing stands a chance as I clock and rock everything. I find a radio with some dude yelling about shelter or something, and I need to find the key to the radio room. I honestly don't care, mate. Just let me fist fuck more zombie skulls. There's someone from the army named J.S. Booker in the hotel who is talking over the microphone, but I really think they should have given her the name Major R.E. Tard. because as soon as I get to the pool, she starts screaming over the speakers and spawns a billion zombies on me. It's no drama for Lil Pump, but still, sort your life out, fuckwit. I make my way into the building for the second time, going upstairs and taking out more zombies while Major Dumbcut yaps over the speakers. I find this exploding zombie and watch as her legs come flying at me at Mark Jesus. But luckily, I've got the reaction time of a cat and absolutely dodged that shit. I find this bathroom that I bet smells like roses and fairy floss before making my way up onto the 3rd floor. I find what happens to my bathroom after I've had a coffee and a dart in the morning before climbing into some vents. And of course, there's fucking zombies in here. Don't ask me how, that makes no sense. Once we get out, we find what's left of the Major, and it looks like she went out in a very calm and peaceful way. Almost like going in your sleep, but better. We grab the key for the radio room and make our way there. I talk to the doctor for a minute before hearing thudding footsteps, and oh my god, look at the size of that big mother. She's putting Mark Henry to shame with those meaty thighs and arms. I bet she tastes like a mix of raw eggs, peas, and black tar heroin. My favourite kind of woman. We take her out fairly easily as she succumbs to Lil Pump's good looks and my 2017 hot single, Gucci Gang. With that done, I'd like to say thanks for making it this far into the video. Sorry for being away for so long, but it's okay now. Daddy's back, and I'm going to be making videos more consistently from here on out. Cheers, cretins. Have a good one.